As I mentioned, today I'm going to do a review on my favorite hunting rifle. Well, one of my favorite hunting rifle because they're all my favorites. But this is Weatherby Vanguard Series 2, chambered in 7mm Remington Magnum, and I have Leupold VX-1 on it. I already had 3 great hunting rifles chambered in 308, and they're all semi-automatic, and I was happy with them. And these were more than sufficient to hunt in Virginia. But I was looking for a reason to buy a sport action. So I told myself, one of these days I'm gonna go hunt in the West. And I wanted to make sure I have something that I could shoot up to 500 yards with confidence. So I started my research. After some research, I narrowed down to 3 rifles: Browning A-Bolt, Weatherby Vanguard, or Remington 700. And among those 3, I really liked the Weatherby the best. Only problem was, it was a little bit more than what I wanted to spend. But in 2011, they released Vanguard Series 2. And the price was just right, and they guaranteed Sub-MOA at 100. But in 2011, the rifle wasn't available to everybody, unless you want to pay some extra bucks. And I didn't want it to. So I kind of waited till 2012, and BuzzGun had it in early 2012 for 480 bucks. And MSRP was a little bit over 600, so it was really fair price. And Midway USA had Leupold VX-1 scope on sale for about 170, so I went ahead and ordered one too. I also ordered Vanguard scope mount because the rifle didn't come with one. While I was waiting for the rifle to hit the market, I did my research on what caliber that I wanted in. I know I wanted something in Magnum, so I narrowed down to 7mm Remington Magnum or 300 Winchester Magnum. Things that I considered was, number 1 was cost of the ammunition. And honestly, 7mm Remington Magnum and 300 Winchester Magnum, price-wise, not a big difference. But back then, 300 Winchester Magnum was a little bit more expensive. Since I was looking to shoot up to 500 yards, I wanted to find something that had better performance at the longer range. And I was surprised to find out that 7mm Remington Magnum actually has better foot per pound energy after 400 yards, and also has a higher speed after 400 yards. I'm not someone who shy away from recoils, but I'm not really crazy about it either. And when I did my research, 300 Winchester Magnum recoils about 25 pounds, and 7mm Remington Magnum was about 19 pounds. And let's face it, I'm not getting any younger. So 7mm Remington Magnum shoots flatter, has more energy downrange, and it's less punishing. So I went with 7mm Remington Magnum. Doing my research, I came across this great ammunition at Midway USA. This is a Vital Shock from Federal Premium. This has 110 grain Barnes tip, which is triple shock, which is all 100% copper bullets. And you'd be really surprised to see that the speed of this thing is coming out of the barrel at screaming 3,500 feet per second. And when I saw the review, everybody had the great reviews, but not too many because the ammunition was really expensive. They were like 42 bucks per box, but for some reason, Midway USA had this on clearance for $27.99. And back then, you couldn't find a cheap ammunition for that price for 7mm Remington Magnum. So I went ahead and ordered 20 boxes. They had 27 in stock, so I ordered 20. So I took my chance, and boy, am I glad I did. After 5 years, I still have 12 boxes left and some more over here, as you can see. With only 110 grain, this also softened the recoil as well. So I probably have about 18 pounds of recoil, and I think it actually shoots soft as my 308. First time that I shot a deer with this, I was really surprised. I thought I missed. I pulled the trigger, it went bang, and there was nothing. So I went to check for the blood, and guess what? She was laying right there where she was hit. And the entrance hole and the exit hole was not very impressive. They were about a quarter size, but when I was gutting it, the thorax cavity was filled with blood, and lungs were like something that went through a blender. So I know she didn't suffer much. So at the beginning, I did a lot of hunting with this ammunition, and almost every deer, they drop like a sack. And a lot of blood in thorax cavity means better meat. But for some reason, about 3 or 4 years ago, I think they stopped making this ammunition from Federal. I don't know why, but I couldn't find them. They also is discontinued, out of stock, or they're not available at this time. So I started to shoot less because I wanted to save the ammunition. I know I could reload in the future because Bunch Tips still do make this bullet, but I'm not ready to reload yet. Maybe someday. We'll see. This rifle weighs 7¼ pounds without the scope, and I was really impressed with their stock, and you could tell that Weatherby put in a lot of thoughts in this rifle. I really like the color, and this non-slip grip on forehand and also on the pistol grip is really nice, and it really helps me carrying in the woods. Not so much shooting it, but actually carrying it in the woods. And the palm swell here is something that I really come to appreciate as well. And their Monte Carlo stock here really helps your eye to line up with the scope, and also prevents the recoils from coming up to your cheek. It actually pushes it backwards, so you could shoot it without the pain. And the recoil pad is really nice and soft, and this is also non-slip texture as well. And this has 3-stage safety, and in the full safety, you cannot work the action. And if you have it in the middle, you could work the action and make sure there's nothing in there. The chamber is empty, and you could work the action, but you cannot fire it. But when you have it in fire, be ready, because this trigger is really light. Bam, very clean. This has one of the best trigger that I ever shot, and this trigger is a match grade 2-stage trigger, and being 2-stage, it also prevents from accidental fire from impact. So Weatherby definitely had a safety in mind when they built this rifle. This stock also has a integrated recoil lug inside as well. And this rifle has 24-inch cold hammer forged barrel for the strength, and they say this also increases the consistency of the accuracy, and I could vouch for that as well. And this has a Limbsaver barrel stabilizer. We'll talk about this later. And on this side, you could see the bolt release. This barrel is not free floating, and according to Weatherby, they've bedded the barrel in a way so it's more accurate than free floating. And I could really care less if it's free floating or not, as long as they shoot the way I want them to shoot. Now, there is a button here for the magazine release. Push that and it will pop right out. Now, I don't like this jack-in-the-box style magazine, because when you try to take the ammunition out, everything just falls out, and that drives me crazy. So what I usually do is that I just put the safety in the middle and just work the action, pointing the gun toward the sky, and just work the action and get all the ammunition out. I know that Weatherby offers detachable box magazine for non-magnum calibers, but unfortunately in magnum calibers you are stuck with this jack-in-the-box style. This magazine holds 3 rounds, and you could have 1 in the chamber, but for the safety reason, I don't have the full load. I usually just have 3 rounds in the magazine and empty chamber, and just carry 3 more extra ammo separately. This has 1-piece machine bolt body for the strength, and it's actually very smooth action. This bolt is 90-degree left, and it works really well. And as you can see, it's got plenty of clearance for the scope, and I'm not someone who's in a real hurry to chamber a second round after my first shot. I'm more focused on the deer that I shot, see where he ran, or if he fell, or how he reacted to my shot. So I have no problem with this 90-degree lift bolt action at all. And as I mentioned, the bolt action works really well, really smooth. And the trigger, you really have to pull it to appreciate it. When you start squeezing it, that clean. And in my opinion, I think this has one of the best trigger for hunting. I own quite a lot of Leupold scope and I've never been disappointed. And I never had any problem. And honestly, I think they're one of the best scope out there for the money. And they come with lifetime warranty on it. And made in USA just gives me a little bit more peace of mind. Oh, by the way, this rifle is made in Japan. And I did a little research, but it seems like made in Japan, they have pretty good quality control. After I got my rifle all set up and very excited, I took it to the range. And after doing a careful barrel breaking procedure, I was only getting about 1.5 grouping at 100. And I wasn't about to settle with that because my DPMS in 308, I could do 3/4 inch at 100 all day long. So I did a little research and I came across this by Limbsaver. They call this a barrel stabilizer. What they're saying is that when the bullet travels through the barrel, it creates a vibration. And the little vibration downrange becomes big gap. So your grouping tends to widen out. So I bought one. I think I paid like $9.99 for this. And the trick is you have to find the sweet spot of the barrel. And this is the sweet spot for this barrel here. And after I had this thing in, I was shooting 1/2 inch group at 100. And I couldn't be happier. Now, I've tried this on different rifles. And honestly, some rifles do not like this at all. So if your rifle is shooting Sub-MOA, don't install this trying to make it more accurate. In my opinion, if you got Sub-MOA at 100, just keep it as it is. But if you're not getting the Sub-MOA that you want, just give it a shot at this and you might be surprised. So this whole setup cost me a little bit less than $700 and I am very, very happy with it. In fact, if I had to shoot one rifle that I have for the rest of my life, I would pick this. From 5 yards to 500 yards, I would not hesitate to pull my trigger on any animal in North America. Matter of fact, I was so impressed with 7mm Remington Magnum, I went ahead and bought another one in Savage. Here we go. I'm gonna shoot the left upper target. Okay. That's at 3 o'clock.
Which target?
Second target, okay?
Okay. Good.
It's a bullseye. I haven't shot my Weatherby for 2 years and without making any adjustment, that's the first 3-shot group and this is the second shot group and that's probably about 1/2 inch. But I see a lot of that, so you gotta make sure you adjust you have your gun sighted before the hunting season. I don't know if it's just me, but if I don't shoot my rifles for some time and take it on the range, at first they tend to have a very wide grouping. This is about 2 3/4 inch. And without making any adjustment, the second grouping was narrowed down. So that was the first shot. And then there was the second shot. And there was the third shot. Right there, I knew it was readjusting itself. And then my second 3-shot group went bam, bam, bam. I'm really happy with my Weatherby setup, including my Vital Shock ammo. And I want to take a look at the comparison between Doug shooting his 308 and me shooting my 7mm Remington Magnum. And the recoil seems about the same, maybe might even look softer. The farthest shot that I made with this rifle was not at the deer, it was actually at the coyote. At about 280, 285 yards away, and I dropped it. Next, I want to do a review on a very unusual hunting rifle, This is DPMS chambered in 338 Federal, and this is my daughter Rachel's favorite hunting rifle, and there's a good reason for it. She calls this her sniper rifle for a real good reason. But for now, thank God for what you have, enjoy your life with what you got, but mostly stay safe. See ya.